I'm picking right back up where we left off. I'm just going to continue on. Let's see, in our last video, we left off right here where they had their ranks. Okay, it says, remember I was referring to the mighty men and how that is a reference used back in the Bible to speak of the offspring of the fallen angels and the daughters of men. So here we are getting into a better understanding of what these demonic beings are in relation to. And they shall climb the wall like men of war. So they know based on this scripture here, they shall climb the wall like men of war, and they shall march every one on his way, and they shall not break their ranks. So we can see from this verse right here, they know what is expected of them and what they are to what their mission is, so to speak. And they don't break the ranks, as I pointed out. These demonic beings will have different ways in which they are being a deception to man. Some will be in the form of the alien agenda, like I spoke of in the last video. Some will be possessing humans and being part of the zombie apocalypse and so on. But I believe God is pointing out to us that there are many ways that these demons are going to come against us in many different forms, and He wants us to be aware of it. Now, I know us of the bride, during this time period, based on what the Lord has shown me, we will be going from our corruptible to our incorruptible bodies. But we've still got the backslidden and the lost that need to be aware of this so that they know what's going on, so that they know that this is all the deception that was spoken of, and see the truth in God. Okay, I'm going to pick back up right here. Let's see which one. Okay. Here it says, neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one in his path. Now, that's like I was speaking of before. We know the path that we are on. We know the path that we must follow. And so do they. They know what their mission is. They know what they have to do. And I believe that the Lord is showing me that they are set to do these things. And that is what they're focused on. And that is what their intent is. And they will not be swayed off their path. And when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. So here we see, and the sword, when they fall upon the sword. Now, when sword is used like this in the scriptures, it's usually alluding to not just a sword as a weapon, but weapons of war. Okay? So we see that weapons of war, any type of attack against them, will just be futile. And then in verse 9 it says, they shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up upon the houses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief. Now, this right here to me says a lot about the protection of those that are covered in the blood. Okay? Now, we know even the backslidden are covered in the blood, because the backslidden, as I've discussed in other videos, the Lord has made it clear that the backslidden are those who have accepted Christ but have drifted back out into the world. They are not focused on Him. They are not faithful to Him. That's the difference in them and the bride. They've not lost salvation. They have lost their place in the bride. And because they are covered in the blood, He will bring them back to Him, whatever it takes. But here is where we're going to see a difference, because I believe that what the Lord is showing me here is, see, we know that those that have faith in the Lord will not be affected by these things, okay? That it only comes upon the wicked and those who have rejected Christ. So those that have rejected Christ, this is what they're going to be seeing. These things will climb upon their homes and will enter in through the windows as a thief. It's part of the snare, okay, that they get caught up in. And, Scripture doesn't tell us what takes place once they get in there. But, I can only imagine. Now, here is a key verse. Verse 10 is a key verse to telling us when this takes place. Because if we look back, let me see if I can find it without a lot of, If we look back over here, and this is Matthew 27, verse 51, where we see this, where I told you right before the 3 days of darkness, we have what is a shaking of the earth, because it says the earth did quake. It doesn't say like it does over here at the resurrection, a great earthquake. Over here it says the earth did quake. So this is about an earth shaking, okay? So we know that is basically a one-time deal, the earth shaking. Earthquakes are plenteous, but an earth shaking is not. This is a unique occurrence. So here we see this again. Right here it says the earth shall quake. So it's about a earth shaking. It says the earth shall quake before them. The heavens shall tremble. The sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withhold their shining. So we see a earth shaking followed by what this describes as darkness, which is the same thing that we see on the timeline that the Lord has shown me about. We have this earth shaking, and then we have the 3 days of darkness. So this right here, this verse 10, ties us into the time frame that we see in all these 3-day events, and this 3 days of darkness, and this pit opening up, and these locusts. So it's all tied into the same time frame, okay? And I'm going to shut this off right here. So far as I know, I don't feel the Lord. I think that's as far as He wanted me to go with this. At the moment, if that changes, I'll be back with another one on this type of thing. But at the moment, that's not what I feel led to do, is to continue on this. I feel like He's going to lead me in a different direction. I'm just not sure where. So if you would be praying about that I would know exactly what direction the Lord wants me to go in, and bring that to you as He reveals it, okay? I love y'all. I hope this has helped you somehow to understand how these things tie in together to the same time frame. And for those that will not be part of the bride and receive the incorruptible body, it's important that they understand what's fixing to take place and what to expect once it begins. So if you would be praying for those people as well. I love all of y'all, and I'll be back as soon as the Lord shows me what's next. Bye.